So nothing in this report here really did ultimately, Jigar, change or move the dial for you?
Well, I think the result indicates clearly that there is a pressure now because of the debt that the company has, and they have got a certain commitment in terms of the capex, at least for the next 1 to 2 years, both in India and at JLR level, which I believe they have the liquidity, but it's going to be tough, especially if the recovery is not as good as they expect. And we think it is a very challenging environment right now to gauge automotive demand unless you are an electric vehicle manufacturer. So in our view, the debt being more than the market cap itself is a risk, and any development which allows them to raise equity at the India passenger vehicle subsidiary or rights issue kind of offering, that will be positive. But otherwise, we remain quite concerned on the short-term liquidity and the capex mismatch.
You mentioned the liquidity position here. Now, that's going to be impaired, isn't it, by the usage of something like £2 billion of cash flow for the first quarter of next year, more or less, here as well. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's right. But if you see, the investment requirements are north of £3 billion. So eventually, if your earnings are as poor or worse in FY21 compared to FY20, then you have to take even more debt. So that is, and the equity valuation is not good enough to take equity at this juncture because of the bartered valuation and the market prices. So therefore, this kind of compounds the problem further, and we are not yet done with COVID. I mean, if we take that scenario that there is a second wave, then that can further delay the recovery, and that's not just problem for Tata Motors, but overall for the automotive sector.
Jigar, if debt is an issue, do you see Tata Motors perhaps embarking on a debt reduction exercise? And if it does, what form will it take?
So it is very clear that they are already on to that exercise, but not at the main company level. They are going to raise some funds through equity participation by inviting a strategic partner at the India passenger vehicle subsidiary. And probably once the earnings improve in the next couple of quarters, as they expect that JLR will revive in the Europe, UK, and other markets, and China in particular, then they can probably raise money at a higher price. I mean, they have not declined that, though they have not confirmed anything as of now.
What are the chances that Tata Motors would perhaps sell JLR? How would you rate the chances of that happening?
Well, I think they have gone so far for partnerships. And as I understand, Tata Motors as a company is a flagship for the Tata Group. And they may not be averse to committing more money, especially when JLR has achieved such a good cost savings and accelerated in terms of product development. Probably they may not sell. They may have some kind of technology-related participation with another company which is like-minded. But I do not think that they will ever give up the majority stake in JLR.
Jigar, just very quickly, last question. Does JLR have no option really left apart from to go to the British government and ask for help very quickly?
Well, I think they've already done that. The furloughs which were there, they have been taking help from the U.S. government, though the quantum of workers has now come down. But that's there, and I think over and above that, given the number of employees they have in the UK, they may not be stopping from taking a help from the UK government. I mean, I do not see anything wrong with that, considering their long-term investment commitment in the country.